2024 has come to an end, and there is a lot to look forward to comic book media-wise. Unfortunately, this past year, due to lack of focus caused by financial issues and recurring mental health struggles, I haven't been confident enough to make videos like I had at the beginning of the pandemic. Moving into the new year with all the projects coming out, I'm excited to make new videos about the ever-changing environment of superhero and nostalgic media. Also, this video won't cover all the projects from Marvel in 2025, only the ones I feel are the most significant. For the last couple of years, Marvel Studios has released dozens of film and TV projects since 2021 with WandaVision. Fans have been inundated with so many new characters and stories setting up for the future of their universe. However, audiences ran into many issues with the content that Marvel has been putting out. Shows and films setting up characters who disappear for several projects. New lore and mythology are introduced that are not consistently represented from project to project. And just an overall dip in quality due to quick turnover rates mandated by Disney executives. Not to mention the story of the multiverse saga has turned out to be mostly a gimmick, allowing for the return of previously existing Marvel characters from other universes without much meaningful development for the MCU proper. So how does Marvel deal with this? Well, I think that 2025 will be the true test of how they've been able to pivot and whether or not the MCU is still worth investing in. So let's talk about it. Captain America is a staple character for the MCU, a founding Avenger and the moral compass for the heroes of the MCU. With Endgame, Sam Wilson was set up to take up the shield and become the newest Star-Spangled Hero. Or at least after a 6-episode miniseries about him choosing not to put on the shield until he eventually does anyways. 3 years later from the first time the character donned the suit, he's appearing in an all-new Captain America film, which seems to be a conspiracy thriller. To me, this will be one of the first films that prioritizes the MCU's lore and continues to build the background of this world. With the return of Tiamat, the intro to Adamantium, and the reintroduction of Thunderbolt Ross and the Leader. This will be a test of whether or not people still care about this universe. A project not relying on any cameos or mystery characters, but also building upon the story of a Disney Plus series. Will it work? We'll have to wait and see. Daredevil was unarguably the best thing to come out of the Marvel Netflix series of streaming shows. With the hashtag Save Daredevil campaign, the popularity of the show must have caught the attention of Marvel Studios, who became very interested in bringing Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio to the MCU proper. The original plan after his appearances in No Way Home, She-Hulk, and Echo would be for his new series to be somewhat of a soft reboot of the Daredevil Netflix series. It would have recentered Matt and Fisk's rivalry, removing his show's previous supporting cast, even going as far as to recast Kingpin's love interest Vanessa. But after Kevin Feige and other producers were displeased with the final product, they pivoted to something that was more of a direct sequel to Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and 3. Not only is this the first attempt of the MCU to do something rated M, and that's also a crime drama, but the first time we can see how the MCU production handles characters that they didn't previously have say over. Marvel's answer to the Suicide Squad. At least that's how some people would choose to describe what the Thunderbolts are. In the MCU, the team isn't composed exclusively of characters who were villains in the past. Yelena and Red Guardian were not ever at any point portrayed as outright villains in the MCU. The Winter Soldier had already been redeemed for a long while before this project as well. But that doesn't change the fact that all these characters have a dark past. They were assassins, anti-heroes, people who had to do things that would be considered immoral. That moral ambiguity hasn't truly existed in most of, if any, Marvel Studios released shows or movies. This film has the ability to address a common criticism of superhero films in general, being incredibly black and white or overly simplistic with their morals. Now, this film isn't rated R, and it's a Disney product. I'm not sure how far it will be able to go, but this could potentially push Marvel to do darker stories with more characters that exist in this gray area. And finally, probably the biggest deal and the project that I am personally the most excited for, that's the return of Marvel's first family. 9 years since the attempted grounded reimagining from Fox, now Marvel Studios has access to these characters, and after John Watts was replaced by Max Shackman, WandaVision, the film has been on track to be released in 2025. The cast is solid with Pedro Pascal as Reed, Vanessa Kirby as Sue, Joseph Quinn as Johnny, and Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben. It's set to have many cosmic elements such as an alternate take on the Silver Surfer, Galactus, and could potentially include other classic characters. There is also a likely possibility of the film setting up Doomsday and Secret Wars with the inclusion of or setup for Doctor Doom. The story will take place in a retro-inspired futuristic version of the Marvel Universe. The characters will wear very classic comic-style outfits. Anything and everything I see from this film represents a shift for Marvel Studios. Every creative decision made seems to be with the express goal to make a new and unique experience for comic book fans and mainstream audiences alike. I just hope they can stick the landing. With all things considered, I do genuinely want this year to be good for Marvel. With the release of Superman and the seeming rise of the DCU, I think this could be the first time in a long while that Marvel has competition in the superhero market. Hopefully, all the mistakes from the past couple of years have taught Marvel Studios the right lessons. But it's owned by Disney, so we'll see.